All right. What I wanted to do was quickly bring up on my screen the PowerPoint presentation and share that with you in this video, and you can follow along and we'll drum together. Now today when we're drumming, you're not going to need any kind of special drum. Don't go out and buy anything. If you happen to have a drum laying around, cool. If not, maybe there's a bucket, or maybe your mom or dad has some Tupperware in the kitchen that you might be able to put a lid and kind of drum on that. Or if you're a fan of Pringles like I am, you can just drum on top of the Pringles can lid. The only problem is you got to keep the lid on. You can't eat any Pringles. Anything's going to work. For today, I'm going to use this little guy. It's a little mini djembe, a little toka djembe. You don't have to have anything fancy like this. This isn't really fancy, but you know, if you happen to have something even cooler than this laying around, feel free to use this. So in the meantime, I'm going to pull up my screen real quick and share you into my virtual music classroom. There it is. So you should be able to see that now, and let me bring myself onto the screen. Okay, there I am. All right, so you can see me. Ah, sweet. I'm going to walk you through this. So the first thing is just a bunch of different slides, and every time if you looked at it, when you hit the space bar or something, the next slide would come on. So I'm going to walk you through it. The first slide says, welcome, you made it. Then we're going to warm up, which we already did, introduce reading rhythms and Pokemon rhythms, and then I'm going to leave you with a short video that I think is pretty cool. You'll probably think it's pretty cool too. Alright, so this first note we learned in, I think it was, 2 weeks ago? We watched the music episode number 2, or was it number 1? I don't know, music episode on YouTube, and we learned about half notes and whole notes, quarter notes, and eighth notes. We didn't learn about 16th notes, but we're going to talk about those today. So this is the quarter note, and when we count the quarter note, we're going to clap that and we say ta. So I'll go ta and you go. Good. I'm going to do 4 quarter notes in a row. Ta, 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 ta. You go. 2, ready, now. Ta, 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 ta. Fantastic. Easy enough. The next one that we learned was 2 eighth notes that are together. You could have eighth notes that are by themselves, but for our purposes, we're always going to have them together, at least for now. 2 while we're learning. Then we can split them up once we get a little bit better with our rhythms. So, when we count and clap our eighth notes, instead of saying ta, we're going to say ta-dee. It sounds like this. I'm going to go ta-dee, you go ta-dee. I'm going to do 4 sets of eighth notes, then I want you to do 4 sets of eighth notes. Sounds like this. Ta-dee, 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 ta-dee. Good. Now, the last set of notes we're going to talk about today are the 16th notes. Now, when we see 16th notes, we're going to not say ta, not say ta-dee, but we're going to say takadimi. Say it with me. Takadimi. Right? Isn't that kind of sound like a Japanese term? Kind of does sound Japanese, but it's not. Now, I'm going to count and clap 4 sets of 16th notes. I want you to count and clap 4 sets of 16th notes. Just like our vocal warm-ups, we call that echoing or call and response. Takadimi, 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 takadimi. Your turn right now. Takadimi, 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 takadimi. Those are super fast, aren't they? Now I think it's time for us to get our drums out. Now that we've introduced our notes that we learned in our previous video, we're going to go on to our Pokemon rhythms. If you're a fan of Pokemon, say yeah. I'm a fan of Pokemon. This first Pokemon, for those of us that aren't familiar with our Pokemons, this first one is Mew. I used to have a Japanese holographic Mew when I was a kid, and I traded it. Worst decision I'd made to date. This is Mew, because Mew only has 1 syllable in its name. The Mew Pokemon is going to symbolize our quarter note. The next Pokemon we're going to talk about is my man Krabby. Now Krabby has 2 syllables, Krabby, Krabby, 2 syllables, so that Pokemon is going to symbolize our eighth notes, because there are two eighth notes next to each other for our groups of eighth notes. And then the last Pokemon we're going to talk about today is Aerodactyl. We'll say Aerodactyl. Yeah, Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl. Do you start counting with your thumb or with your pointer finger? I feel like I do pointer finger. I don't know. But if you do it with the thumb first, I think that's the right way. Who knows? I'll never know. So this is Aerodactyl because there is 4 syllables in Aerodactyl's name. We're going to signify the 16th notes that we learned. Instead of saying Takadimi, we'll say Aerodactyl because there are 4 of them. If you don't like Pokemon and you'd rather think of something else, I get it. Maybe food would be good for you. So like maybe instead of Mew, you could say corn. 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 Because there's only 1 syllable in corn. And then maybe for the 2 syllables, for the 8th note, you could use apple. Apple. Apple has 2 syllables. And then watermelon has 4. So for your 16th notes, maybe you could use watermelon. But for our purposes, we're going to use Pokemon because Pokemon's awesome and everybody likes Pokemon. So let's get to it. Our practice starts now. Okay. This first rhythm has Krabby, then Mew, then Krabby, then Mew. Right? So let's just practice saying the Pokemon's name. I want you to use your drum and go Krabby, Mew, Krabby, Mew. Your turn, ready, go. Good. Super easy, right? Now, let's do the same thing, but this time you can see that there are the notes, the music notes underneath them, but we're still going to say their names. Still going to use the Pokemon names. It goes Krabby, Mew, Krabby, Mew. Your turn, ready, go. Krabby, Mew, Krabby, Mew. Yes! Now, we're going to take Mew away, and we're going to go Krabby Ta, Krabby Ta. Let's try that. I go, then you go. Krabby Ta, Krabby Ta. Your turn right now. Krabby Ta, Krabby Ta. Good. You guessed it. Now we got to get rid of the Krabbies, huh? So now we're going to say Toddy Ta, Toddy Ta. I go, then you go. Toddy Ta, Toddy Ta. Your turn right now. Fantastic. The last step, all we're going to do is take away all of our syllables. You mean we have to remember it? Good, so I want you to read along the rhythm. I play and then you play. Should sound like this. Ta-dee ta, ta-dee ta. Your turn right now. Ta-dee ta, ta-dee ta. Yeah, you did it! Look at that. I knew you could do it. Hey, if you thought that that was easy, then that's what I'm talking about, because my job is to make music super easy and super fun. So let's try again. Ooh, we've got a new Pokemon. It's my man Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl, I think, had like 85 hit points on the card when I used to play. Now, I used to play a long time ago, so the hit points are probably different now than they are then, or were then. But Aerodactyl used to be a pretty awesome card to have. Let's look at this and play. Oh, sorry. Had to switch my camera angle for you. There you go. We'll go Aerodactyl Mew, Krabby Mew. Your turn right now. Aerodactyl Mew, Krabby Mew. Fantastic job. Now, we're still going to say the Pokemon's name, but this time you're going to have the music notes underneath the Pokemon. My turn, then your turn. Aerodactyl Mew, Krabby Mew. Your turn right now. Fantastic. You guessed it, we're getting rid of Mew first. Oh man. Think we can do it? I go, then you go. Aerodactyl ta, crabby ta. Your turn right now. Aerodactyl ta, crabby ta. Yes. Now we gotta get rid of crabby. Aerodactyl's the only one left. Aerodactyl ta, ta-dee ta. Your turn right now. Fantastic job. Last one, we got to get rid of Aerodactyl and change that up and say Takadimi. Takadimi, that's a fun word to say. My turn and your turn. Takadimi ta, ta-dee ta. Your turn right now. Good, let's do that one again. This time, we're going to take the words away. You read the rhythms and say the words just pretending that you're reading them. 1 and 2, my turn, then yours. Takadimi ta, ta-dee ta. Your turn, ready, go. Fantastic job. And you're a rock star. I put on there to see if you could create your own rhythms. If you want to create your own rhythms, feel free to use any kind of Pokemon that you want, as long as they have 1, 2, or 4 syllables. We haven't learned any notes yet that have 3 syllables, but you will. I promise you. And then